The yarn and your hook size, all of that is your choice. I'm using a 4-weight that calls for an I-9. Let's see what I have here with me. I think I have it right here. Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the yarn that the hook that the yarn's calling for. I just have a regular old slip knot made. Go ahead and do a magic circle if you want, or you can chain 4, slip stitch to join. I chain up 1, 3 double crochets, chain 2, three double crochet, chain 2. We're gonna have 6 granny clusters inside our ring with the chain 2 in between. Halfway there. And you can use any granny square you like that will continue to grow and grow and grow. Make it a hexagon so it has 6 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as long as your hexagon has enough space or stitches to where it will fold over, and I'll show you real quick. Whoop. It's easier to show you with the baby one. But this is where the middle is sewed up. So this and this is one hexagon. So you take the hexagon and you fold it in a way that it makes an L. If your hexagon doesn't make an L, something's up and it won't work for this pattern. So let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I chain 2 and I slip stitch to join. I don't know if you can tell like by the first, I don't think you can, but pretty quickly you can. Okay, so I'm going to chain up 1. I will tuck that in. And I am going to do a corner in each of these chain 2 spaces. So a granny shell or 3 double crochet. We're just going to chain 1 in the corners. Three double crochet, skip to your next chain 2, and do your 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, go to the next, three double crochet, whoops, chain 1, excuse me, 3 double crochet, go to the next chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, three double crochet, to the next chain 2 and do your 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and I'll call this a corner from here on out. After this round, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and join by slip stitching in that top chain. Turn, chain 1, turn, and then that chain, well, it's not a chain space, the space between the corners, you're going to put 3 double crochet. Then you're going to go to your chain 1 of your corner and you're going to add a corner in that chain 1. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Three double crochet in the space between the 2 corners, and to the space between the corner shells, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Three double crochet or a granny shell in between those 2 corners, and in the space, the chain 1 space of the corner, put a corner. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. In between the corners, a shell, a granny shell, or 3 double crochet, and then a corner, in the chain 1 space of the corner from the previous round. Three double crochet in between the corners, and then in the chain 1 of the corner, put a corner. 3 double crochet, chain 1, three double crochet. Then again, in between the corners, the 3 double crochet, and in between the last shell, a corner, or in between the last corner, put another corner. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and just like before, we're just going to slip stitch in that top stitch there, chain 1, and turn. At this point, you can see, that this is going to work just fine because it has the L shape that we need. This will become the arm. Let's see. This will become the arm, and this will become the half of the body that the panel sews up in the back. I'm loving how this retro is changing. It's pretty close. Okay, so the trick to this is to continue your increases until it fits from under your arm. That's where the hexagon, our main, this part of our hexagon is in the armpit. So you fold it, hold it together with safety pins, whatever. Slide your arm in, try it on, and see where it's at and how much further you want it to pull over. You can add a section in the back. That adds 2 more places for seams. It just depends how you want to make it. And trying on is going to definitely help you. So for this baby one, I had a tape measure out here, but I took it back in there. It's newborn. And I did 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, I counted right, 6 rounds in chunky yarn, and then put a blanket yarn border, because that's what the set is. On Janine's, she likes the long single crochet cuffs, and I love to make them a little longer anyway, because they're gonna stretch out more than they're not gonna get longer. We used, if I'm right, 15. Oh, we went to 16, and then just single crochet clear around, and then the single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, or skip 1 single crochet for our little ruffly, for our little ruffly border. So we had buttons, but they broke. Anyway, it's very cute. We didn't come down in the sleeves at all until the cuffs. I'll get some pictures of it. So she's a 9-year-old little teeny girl. Mine that I made me, where's the rainbow sweater? Right behind me. And I definitely cannot get this one completely on camera, but let me see. If I can find my armpit on here. My goodness, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops. So mine's, counting the border and everything as if it was the size of a shell, is about 29 total rows. It is in a DK weight, so it's not a 4 weight or a bulky, obviously. I made one for my daughter-in-law's mom and did 22 rounds, and her mom, so my daughter-in-law's grandma's, was like 20 rounds. So it's just really how you want it to fit. If you want to only increase, you know, here and let this come around more, or do you want to add more border? It just depends how you want it to fit. But the base of it with the hexagons are just so easy. So you're going to have a little bit of homework. But actually, not really, because I'm making a video, I'm not live. So, slip stitch to that top chain, chain up one, and do your 3. I'm going to do one more row and then I'll meet you back. 3 double crochet in the space before your corner. Go to the chain 1 in your corner and put a corner. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Like I said, you can use different designs of different granny square or granny hexagons. You just need to make sure that as it grows, you can make the L. And like I've shown, this is gonna work, so I don't have to keep checking it. It works. So this time we'll have our corner, and then we have our space between the corner and our shell. We'll have a shell there, and then the space between our shell and our corner, we have another shell. So we're growing just like you do with a granny square. Three double crochet, chain 1. You can do chain 2 if you like. You can do chain 3 if you like. Just really depends how you want it to look. Chain 3 after that corner, before that individual. Chain 3. 3 double crochet, sorry, in that space. 3 double crochet in the next space, and then a corner or 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all in the chain 1 space of the corner from the previous round. And then in that next space between the shell and the end of the corner, you put another shell. And again, 3 double crochet is our granny shell. A corner in the chain 1 space of the corner from the previous round. And over to that space and put 3 double crochet. Next space, 3 double crochet. And then a corner in the chain 1 of the corner from the previous round. And that corner consists of 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. And just continue. Each round you will have an extra shell in between the corners. I like to slip stitch, chain 1, and then go straight into it after I've turned, because I like having both sides of my work look the same. Obviously, your seams, depending on how you sew them, will show, but sometimes some seams look awesome. My Which Way Filet granny square, the material I did that out of looks amazing with the stitching showing. It's funny. Okay. Go ahead and grow your hexagon to the size that you want to. I'm going to finish this one and start my next one, and when I come back, I'll show you how we connect them, make a decision rather to do the sleeves straight down, bell, or slowly decrease, and what kind of, how we want to finish it. Go ahead and get your hexes to the same exact size, and I'll meet you back. Did you guys get your hexagons made? So I have 2 hexagons. I've got them stitch markered because that's what I like to do. You fold it and make an L, and these are my wrong sides up or out because that's how I'm gonna sew it. I have 12 rounds in my hexagons. This is gonna fit 4 to 5-year-old. I'm gonna sew up the back. And I'm gonna sew up the sleeves from the end to about the second shell over from the corner shell, and that's going to be our neck. So that'll be the back. It'll be like that. So you want to sew it up? I'll show you how. I have it wrong side out. So I like to use the technique on this to sew it up that I've seen Krista use a lot at Secret Yarnery. I take off my stitch markers now. I just put it together, make sure I get it together without the sleeves being upside down from one another or whatever. I've been known to sew one side on upside down once or twice. So okay, slip knot like usual. I'm gonna slip stitch in that corner. I'm working on the wrong sides, so the right sides are facing in. I'm gonna chain 3 and I'm gonna single crochet in that next space. Chain 3 and single crochet in that next space. You can sew this together any way you want. I love this join. I love using this join with the granny square shells. And I'll show you what it looks like on the back. You can do a slip stitch if you don't want to do a single crochet. I just do a single crochet out of habit. Oop, there's my end that I gotta tuck in. I've got the camera up where I cannot see what I'm doing on screen, so I hope I'm on screen. Okay, when I come to that last corner, I'm gonna single crochet in the space, but then I'm gonna make sure and single crochet through 2 of those chain spaces and just connect it first for security, stability, security. Okay. Now, when we turn this right side out, there is our join. You can see the single crochet. Oops, there's my end in there, so I'll get that out and then sew it in. But I love this join. The kids do fine with it, so that's what I use. We'll sew up the neck and shoulders the same way. So wrong sides back out. And I've already got it folded here. Sorry, guys. And get our shape back. That's why I put a stitch marker in it before I sew it up, because it's so easy to get turned around. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna stitch together my shoulders. And then I'm gonna do single crochet all the way around so that this is bordered. And then it'll be done. I'm gonna move my yarn to the right side. If you want to add length, go ahead and do that before you add the border. Just use the granny square stitch. You can do a border, you know, around the bottom, up and around the neck like we did on the cocoon sweater if you wanted. There's all kinds of things you can do. It's just up to you. Okay, so from the middle, this is where I sewed it up in the middle, I'm going to go 2 over. My girls don't like the necks very tight, and I put a single crochet neck at the least around, so yeah. 1, 2, 3, after I single crocheted into there, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 3, single crochet or slip stitch, whichever you want, chain 3, slip stitch in the next space, chain 3, slip stitch in the next space, all the way to the end of your sleeve. If you wanted to add more to your sleeve, you can. You can add a cuff. You can do whatever you like. You can work this and decrease one at a time and make it longer. This is about as long as it needs to be. That's how big I made the granny squares. So that helps. I won't need to be adding any sleeves, but it's not a big deal to do so. go to that center, slip or single crochet, and then I do one more, whoops, going through those, that chain 2 in that center, so that it's just a little bit more sturdy. And give plenty of room for that tail. And repeat on the other side. And the slip stitch, slip knot for me. Line up the corners, and I'm gonna go 2 away for the neckline and to make room for the neck. Single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in that next space. Chain 3, make sure your shells are lined up. Single crochet in the next space. Chain 3, single crochet in the next space. Chain 3, single crochet in the next space. Chain 3. And you just repeat this. Make sure your shells are lining up. They can slip around a little bit. Into that center at the end. I'm going to single crochet, and then I'm just going to go through both those chains and do another single crochet and finish off. If you wanted to continue, you could, and then start working in the round if you wanted longer sleeves. It's up to you. Oh, I already did that, silly. Finishing off. Okay. So let's turn this right side out. And I still have my ends, of course. Okay. Take my stitch markers out. And there we have it. You can use whatever sewing up method you want. This does have the underneath, but I like it. And then if they pull it real tight, you can see it might come apart a little bit, but it's lined up and it looks good. So. We are done, except for throwing a border on there. I'm just gonna single crochet in each stitch around, and I will decrease here and make that one, just like we did on the shell cocoon. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'm gonna get this posted so you'll have an option to the shell cocoon. I made myself one in DK weight, and it was 22 to 24 shells. I can't remember for sure. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions. This is how I do my hexagon cardigans. Thank you. Happy hooking, and thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me.